Guys, this movie has got me on a whole nother level. Señoras y señores, buenas tardes, buenas noches, buenas tardes, buenas noches, señoritas y señores. To be with you tonight brings me joy, que alegría, for this music is my language and the world es mi familia. Let's do this. Hello everyone, my name is Chelsea Robson, and today you are watching the Rotoscopers YouTube. I'm sure you knew that when you clicked the button to say listen, but here we are either way. And I wanted to tell you a bit about this movie that I saw, and I'm sure you've heard about it because it's been one of those movies that's been in the works for a really, really long time. This movie actually was supposed to come out in 2015, but because of other conflicts of other movies that were coming out at the same time, it got pushed back to 2017, this year. And as it comes out today, I'm so excited to be able to tell you about the movie Coco from Pixar. So the story is about a boy named Miguel, and Miguel is basically going through, he's had a hard time because he feels he is a musician and he needs to be able to let the music sing, but his whole family is totally against music in all of its forms because their great abuelo decided that he wanted to go off and become a musician, and he ended up leaving his family alone. All alone, and basically the mom was like, peace out, buddy, like this is my job now. Okay, so she ends up being the mother of the whole family and rears up her kid, her little daughter, and then the family just continues as it goes on. And basically it talks a little bit and it teaches a lot about how the day of Dia de los Muertos has a cultural significance on the Mexican heritage. And especially for those people who, if you're looking at the Day of the Dead, if you're looking at the whole thing, you don't really know what it means. All you see is these skeletons, and you just see these things like, oh, it's Halloween scary, you know. But actually, it's very, very, it's a very tender subject because it's all about family and how if you put their picture up on the mantle, basically, during the Day of the Dead, that is the one day of the year when the dead are able to come back and to be able to associate with you in spirit, I guess you could say. It's like in spirit, I can be with you, you can be with us, and we all can be one big happy family forever. One problem is if your picture does not get put up on that mantle, it means that you cannot come back. And so this is where all of the fun ensues. Miguel, he doesn't believe any of this, and so he takes it very lightly. And because of that, he ends up going on a mystical adventure to the land of the dead. It's very fun. Lots of colors, beautiful. Oh my gosh, the animation in this is superb. You'll be seeing moments of just like, wow, that water, amazing. Water is just one of those things that just always like impresses me. But also there's moments where they have like up close and personal with Miguel, and even though like their characters are very characterized and like kind of cartoonish, you know, they still have things like their hands. The grandma has her hands, and you can look, it goes straight at it, and you can just see, it just looks so real and amazing. And also, I will have to say that this movie is one of those that I don't think I've cried as much in a Pixar movie since Up. It really was, I mean, and the thing is, like, this one, it worked for it so well, and it took you on this journey and had you kind of cheering for Miguel, and you had him cheering for, like, wanting to, there was a lot of angst, like a lot more angst than I thought there would be, and that I thought that they could actually tear out of me, because it's like you have these moments of like, ooh, who's right? I don't know. And then at the very end, everything gets tied up in a nice little bow, but man, you cry. I was crying, my guest was crying, and the person off to my left was crying. I mean, everyone just had some type of Now, I will say that if there's some critics out there that are giving this a bad, if anybody is giving this a bad run, it's because they've probably seen a couple, I mean, there's different, like, principles in film that generally get repeated. And so you'll be able to see some of those looking back, but while you're in it, you don't really see it. And they actually do a good job of keeping the pace up pretty well. And so this is one of those that honestly going into it, I wasn't super excited about it. I was back in the back just being like, I don't know what this is. I mean, I get it, but I feel like I've seen it before. But really, by the time the whole thing was done, anything that you thought it would be compared to is really not that. And so it's very good to be able to watch this movie with fresh eyes and just expect nothing. And I mean that in not like the way of like expect little and your expectations will be surpassed. No, I mean you really should expect good things, but at the same time, like you shouldn't come in with preconceived notions, because that way you'll be able to start fresh and you'll really be able to feel this story and the tenderness. And it is something that, like, man, afterward I was like, I gotta learn more about my ancestors, man. Okay. All right, I want to know what you guys thought about this movie. Okay, a lot of people are probably like, Chelsea, why? Hello. Olaf's Frozen Adventure? Why aren't you talking about that? Well, I'll tell you. They didn't have it in my screening, so I was so bummed. I was like, no, I needed Frozen. And when this movie comes out, I will actually be, interestingly enough, I will actually be in Las Vegas working backstage at the Latin Grammys. So I won't have time to be able to go see it and make a video and post it on the day that this is released. So it'll come probably next week when I actually do get around to seeing it in theaters again. But yeah, so that is what's going to happen as far as Olaf's Frozen Adventure. I will be giving my 2 cents, believe me, on Mr. Frozen. Mr. Frozen, I was trying to say Mr. Olaf, but then it was just like, it didn't work out. Whatever. Scratch that. Delete. But also, okay. Yeah, anyway, so that is all I have to say for this movie. Let me know in the comments when you see it what you thought. Did you cry? Did you not? Are you thinking that I'm like way off base and like jaded slash not jaded? How would I be jaded if I'm crying? Come on now. But am I don't know. Let me know what you think in the bottom. Also, if you are interested in finding out more about like my adventures in Las Vegas for the Latin Grammys, follow me on Instagram. All of that will be on there. Mwah! Bye.